Bounce. Down now. Bounce. Bounce. Down now. Bounce. Bounce. Down now. Down now. There's
The buzz I hear, the buzz is not out here, so it's just because
Okay. All right.
we're keeping amplified, but got some lemon water going on here. You have erupted. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm utterly fucking fantastic.
You look it. You look great. I see some glow to you.
A little glow.
Yeah, you got a little glow.
It's a little glow. It's a little horny glow.
Yeah.
You know, when your wife gives birth and you can't touch the vagina for a little bit, so you gotta just like, all right. Yes, I love you. I love the kid, but you know, I'd really.
Like to fold it.
That's right. I'd get my. All right. That's why I got the old laptop.
Yeah.
The old-
Old laptop does good. Two Bros Podcast, episode number 34. 34. See, that's motion. Yeah, there's motion. We are in the new space. Thank you for being patient, party people. We've had some time off.
Bunch of new.
Well, let's call it vacation because that's
Bunch of
kind of
new.
what
Okay,
it was. It was
vacation.
kind of like a little vacation. I took vacation.
You took some vacation. I took no vacation, but still, there was a bunch of other shit going on. So
Yeah. So congratulations.
thank you very much.
You welcome in. Now you say his name completely.
Miles Oscar Whitfield,
Miles Oscar Whitfield.
born
Mo.
July 27th,
Wow.
11:47 a.m.
727-1147. Wow. Numerology at its finest.
There you go. Whatever that means. It's supposed to mean stuff. It's kind of funny. We apparently that was like the new moon.
Oh,
Like
really?
around that was the new moon.
Okay.
And we were talking with a friend about a week before. You know, my wife goes into the hospital,
Yeah.
and somebody said something to the effect of like, you know, most babies tend to be born around the new moon.
Well,
You know, which whether that is true or not, I don't know.
right.
So I asked my wife, I said, so what happens to the kids who were born like last week or whatever?
The old moon?
Yeah, well, and she says, well, I guess they're just shit out of luck. I'm like, and that's kind of a fucked up.
You know, this exclusion type of thing, it seems more and more that everyone tries to find a way to make a club out of something.
Yes. Yeah.
You're in the moon club, whatever
whatever thing that gets like dissected down
but
into.
But it's so Baskin Robbins, right? It's flavor of the day.
It's all like we've done this shit for a million years and never really cared.
Right.
So you know
Right.
now there's like we try to make these little 42% of the babies are born. That makes this. What the fuck does that mean? All I know is I got a beautiful baby boy.
Nice. Looks like Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like Vin Diesel. Looks like Vin Diesel from the first Fast and Furious. I don't know why.
He actually looks like, if he looks like anybody in the family, he reminds me of when Tehran was born.
Yeah. Okay.
He's similar, like he just looks similar, I guess, in skin tone
Right.
and just I don't know, just like the facial structure
so
and
you
stuff.
see a little-
I see Tehran more than anything
that's
else.
cool.
And everybody says they say it looks like his father. Okay, fine, that's great. I appreciate that. But to me, he looks. If I'm going to compare him to anybody in our family, it looks like he looks a little bit more like Tehran.
Well, probably because last baby you've seen in our family, obviously.
Yeah.
Since,
well, no.
Niche.
Well, Niche.
Yeah, Niche was younger, youngest,
Niche.
and now Miles. So on the flip side of that, on a sad note, we did lose an aunt over in England. So Althea Stevens passed away. She
okay.
passed away in her sleep Friday morning.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, just happened recently. James hit me up and said, sorry, glad you had a chance to meet her, which I did. I had
Right.
a chance to meet her. Now, she is our Uncle Reginald's
Okay.
wife.
Okay.
Right. So Uncle Reggie is James's grandfather.
Grandfather,
and
right.
she's the grandmother, so Nan, what they call
How
her.
old was she?
Don't know.
Okay.
Not 100% sure. She was very bubbly when I met her. She had tons of story about mom. She had so much, like so happy to
Right.
see
that connection,
right,
to see that,
right,
to see
to
that,
see it
to see that
happen.
line.
Right, and obviously through Facebook and stuff, and then we've kept in touch and stuff. So, rest in peace, Althea Stevens.
Rest
She was
well.
definitely a bubbly person, and met her one day only. And but then kept in touch with her. So
That's good. That's good.
And she
good.
was,
You do better at that than I do. You do better at like
you know,
making connections with people and then like maintaining that
It's hard.
connection.
It's
Yeah.
hard. I mean, it's really hard. You think social media makes it easier, but at some point you have to.
You gotta take it upon yourself.
Yeah, your
to do it,
wherewithal
yeah.
gets
Yeah.
really weird. It gets to the point where it's like recently just had someone come up to me and was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he's like, "We're friends on Facebook and this and that." And I'm like, "Really?" And I got really fucking weirded out on it. I almost had a fucking panic attack. Dude,
You only know this person through, so you never met this person.
I
on
don't
any
even
other...
know how. I then went back because I don't even know how, like what his name. I don't know his handle or whatever. The fuck,
Right.
And he was like, "No, man. Oh, I saw this," and I was like, "Wow, I need to fucking chill the fuck out."
I took Facebook off of my phone.
Did you?
Yes,
Smart.
I took it off my phone. I was like, you know what?
It's such a fucking distraction.
It is a distraction, and you get that because if you remember when like it first came out and you wanted to be a part of it, you were just like sending requests and accepting requests from everybody because you wanted numbers up.
Right.
You didn't want like 8 friends. You wanted like 700 friends and stuff. You wanted to say, hey, I'm popular, and so you just accepted all these people and.
Unbelievable. And, my wife was right about she's very anti, right? So she got on Instagram because the kids, and so when Ron was away at college, she could see things, and then the kids switched off and they don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
They're like, Instagram's for old people. Like, what?
Yeah.
Snapchat. We all get on my Snap, and I'm like,
Well, Snapchat was made for dick pics.
Yeah, we know. But the kids are on Snap. They're not on Instagram. Some of them they have it linked, and it's so fucking weird. They're just burning through these systems fast.
Because my wife works at a university and a lot of her staff are university students. Everybody has Snapchat.
Yeah.
And so she's on Snapchat too, just to keep abreast with what everybody's doing. And it's amazing all the shit that just gets like thrown and flooded and like, bing, 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 bing. There's some nights where that phone just keeps, you just see, or whatever fucking noise it's on, because people are doing shit. And then people just love doing GroupMe stuff. Like people just love including you in shit that really has nothing to do with you.
I will never send it to 15 other people and get a blessing. Like I don't think that there's this blessing package that if I send it to 15 people, it will happen. Ooh, I sent it to 15. Watch the rainbows come out. However, have you watched? I just binged, and when you walked in, I was watching Black Mirror.
I heard it's pretty good.
Dude, this. The kids were watching it, they put me, and I was like, I'll watch it when I get to it. And then I just caught one, then it was like 2, then 3, and now I'm so far into it. They're not related in any way.
None of the episodes?
No. Each one of them is completely different. However, there is an overall theme, and it's fucking technology and social media.
Okay.
Almost every episode, there's one with John Hamm. It's great.
Okay.
Which is, it's freaking mind-blowing, dude.
Okay. Black Mirror.
Half of the shit that's
to the list
on
of
here
shit. Okay.
is what do you call it? Like a perpetuation. Like it's like, well, why don't we have that? And then why? But there's one scene with this social media thing where this girl is like, it's all about likes, right? And it's like, and Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this social currency, like the social media currency. It's a hollow coin, he calls it. Like it's very shallow. It has no meaning at all. And once you think you have it, it goes.
Right.
And there's an episode that plays on that whole thing where she can't even get an apartment because she doesn't have enough followers. She's a 4 point something. You have to be a 4.8. It's fucked up. And you watch this woman spiral her life into she does all this stuff just to get her numbers up so she can move into this place. So, and then she can then she figures out a friend from her from school is like super popular. She's a 5 point something. And she posts something. She's like, all right, I know how to get her. Back when we were kids, there was this little rag doll we had. Boom, good old Mr. Rags, whatever his name is. And she, boom, hits her back. Oh, my God, I love him. How have you been? Oh, broom, broom. And all you hear is broom, 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 broom. It's to the point where they have it so that everything you do, people are going, you gonna, okay, yeah, broom. They give him a like.
Okay.
It's like a rating system.
Okay.
From the guy that hands you a fucking coffee it's all proximity. So it's like if you're standing in front of someone, you can just
Right.
And then they're like 2 stars. Dude was like not a very engaging conversation, man. Like beat it. You know, you'd be lucky I gave you 2 stars.
Wow.
And
That
the
sounds interesting.
Fucking the currency of this thing is out of control. It's like she went to rent a car. Oh, I see you're a little low point. You're 2 point. The cars over here are for you. You know, you can't get any of these luxury cars. You don't have enough points on your thing. So, but you can get any one of these. Like, is that what we're doing now? Like, it's happening.
Well, it begs the question, like how much, it seems like it's begging the question, okay, well, how much value are you putting on this in your life?
Right.
And then you transpose it to something that has actual value. You know,
Right.
you getting an apartment, you being able to rent a car,
Right.
you getting a new job. That stuff, those are the things you need to make investments in. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to spend all your time spending your investments on these other things, well, then at some point, those two things are going to link up. And when they
Totally.
link up, like you said, Gary Vee said that it's hollow.
It's hollow.
It's hollow currency.
Yeah, it's hollow. It's totally fluff. It's similar to the Bitcoin. I mean, it has a value that's kind of
It's based on nothing.
conceptualized.
Right. It's based on because
Right.
because a series of people said, "Ooh, this is going to be valuable,"
Right.
And so we assign value to it, but it's really based. It's still based on nothing. That's another thing that bothers me about Bitcoin. It's like when you get right down to it,
Yeah.
it what is it? Like it's nothing. And so we've assigned it value. It's not like if you buy a certain amount of gold,
Right.
then you actually have a certain amount of gold.
Yeah. You're correct.
And so you can base a certain amount of
Correct.
financial value
Correct.
on this amount of gold that you have. In Bitcoin, you can't do that
No.
because they.
Well, you can. I
Well,
mean,
you can, but the value is not determinate.
Okay, so
There's no baseline value to it.
100%. But at the same time, when you talk about the value of gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what bugged me out throughout time. Who's counting all the gold? Like, how do they know?
How
it's
we
how do you
figure-
know how there's only 3,000 pounds of gold
Right.
left, so that it's worth more now than it is less?
Right.
That what bugs me the fuck out. So there's no mine. That's the reason why when I first heard about Bitcoin in 06,
Mm-hmm.
the person that I had heard it from was saying exactly that. He was like, at some point, there's an authority.
Mm-hmm.
And just like how these guys in the Diamond District became the authority because they seemed to know.
Right.
They all said, Jack Weisenstein and Rosenthal and all these guys says, diamonds. You take it to one of them and they tell you, it's not worth anything.
Right.
Just leave it here, give you a few bucks for it.
Right.
But then they sell it for
But then they turn
$1,000.
around and they
1,000
determine
times
the value
more
for it. Yeah.
So this is no different. It's just that you're dealing with something physical and it has weight.
But at the same time, you can't define something unless you put a limit on something. Nothing is defined unless there is a limit to it.
It has to have a to and a from, right? It has to have a
Right, exactly. There
starting-
has to be like you have in this nice little setup. You got a nice kitchen upstairs.
Right.
You have a nice kitchen upstairs. If you could do anything you wanted in that kitchen, well, what would you do?
Right.
You probably wouldn't know what to do. But
Yeah.
now you have a range with 4 tops. Okay, well now you know what to do with that.
now
You know,
want
your
6,
your fridge is only but so big, so you know how much food to put in there, and you know how
Right.
much food to keep in there and stuff
Right.
like that. It has limits. If things were unlimited,
Yeah.
then what definition would you have?
Well, this is again goes to why people think the environment is unlimited and that it's just dump it, throw it away.
Right.
And this is the concept that quote unquote, but this is where the the tree huggers and the people who think that when you go on a cruise or you go in the ocean and you look, it's forever. It's
Right.
like never gonna end. There's a lot of shit in that water, man. There's
Yeah,
a
man.
lot of junk that just drudges to the bottom. There's a whole universe. I mean, if that's 3/4 the mass.
Mm-hmm.
So again, value, right? You have the Earth as a whole, and then you have 3/4 of it filled with water. But there's a whole unknown that people have died trying to figure out
Trying
what
to
the
figure
fuck's
out, yep.
inside it. Where does it go? How does it come? How does it go? But that's the same trade-off. Is that when you don't believe that there's a limit to it, you abuse it.
Right.
If you think it always comes, if you always turn the faucet on and the water came out, you let it run.
Right.
You didn't care, you know. But when it stops, you go, oh shit! Now you have to ration. Now you have to portion control, and you have to have some discipline.
Well, it's all it's
Discipline.
right because you also have to. I mean, when you talk about stuff like that, you have to start off with gratitude and
Yeah.
not taking things for granted.
Sure,
Because, like you said, you know, we just assume that water is supposed to come on when you hit a
Word.
faucet. We don't really take into account the amount of work that's gone into
To supply
to
it.
doing this
Right.
and making sure that this is a case where, hey, you are more likely go into a place and if there's a faucet, you turn the faucet on, water will come out. You can judge how valuable the water is or how good the water is and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But the bottom line is that it's taken a lot of fucking work to make sure that happens.
Tons.
To sit in this nice place you have there, which is like nice, it's nice climate controlled. It's burning up as fuck outside, but it's nice. It's comfortable
Killing
down
the AC.
there.
The AC is like
Right. This isn't like supposed to happen.
right.
This has been the toil of a lot of work of people who built it, people who bought it,
Yeah.
people like you yourself who invested in it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that you know, I guess it sounds like that's always going to be the truth, but people just take a lot of that for granted. You know,
Yeah.
they just don't appreciate it until
Yeah.
it's gone.
Right.
So, have you seen what was I say? Al Gore has another.
Uh-oh.
He did a go back like a
Yeah.
when he first started his crusade over this, climate control and everything else, and now everyone's like, this fucker was right. This
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
he was dead on.
Yeah.
We just didn't want to give him the credit. Like it was such a campaign to say, fuck you, Al Gore. We don't like you.
Well, yeah, a couple of things happened. It became just this politicized issue.
Right.
And Al Gore became maybe even a billionaire.
Yeah, you got very
Over
rich.
it. He got very rich over it.
Very
and so when you combine those two things, you have cynical people who are on the opposite end of that, saying that, well, this made him a lot of money.
Right.
This really has this is kind of like pseudoscience and shit like that. But the primary thing was to make Al Gore a lot of money.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody.
But that's what it's supposed to. Isn't
Well,
the
that's-
ice cream stand supposed to?
Right, because you go back and forth, because then you have the same people who say, well, this is a free market economy, and you created something. Well, isn't that what he did? He created something for himself
Right.
using evidence. Using
A lane. He created
Right,
a
he
lane.
created a lane.
He had a topic. He
Right.
had a start. He had
Right.
so he created this This again,
Right.
we talk about creating currency.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it if you subscribe to it.
Right.
But I think you almost need just as many haters as you need followers, right? I think you need, in order for it to have value, you have to have people hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone can't just be on board with it.
Right.
Or else you'd be called the government. You know what I'm saying? Then you'd be a dictatorship. This is what we say. This is what you do.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
That's it.
Right. Oil's 79 cents a gallon, whatever. So, what else is going on? Damn. I just drew a blank again.
I had a baby.
Yes, you had
My
a
wife
baby.
had a baby.
Beautiful young man. So how did she take it? Were you in the room the whole
Yeah,
time?
absolutely.
You did the whole thing?
Oh man, yes.
Like a wide receiver?
It's just no, I wasn't. No, I was on the side. The doctor was the wide receiver. But it just remains to be. I was fortunate enough. I was there with all three of my children. were born.
Miracle of birth.
It is.
So was I. I was there for
It's
both
an
of mine.
amazing. It's just and you realize that the mother doesn't see that.
Right.
The mother doesn't.
Kind of different from her
Goes
view,
through all this fucking pain and stuff, and she doesn't actually see the event happen. She just
interesting.
sees, like, she's sitting up there, and all of a sudden somebody shows her a baby. And when you think about it,
Yeah,
there could be
yeah.
this
A swap?
I mean, there could be a little switch. There could be a
Yeah.
little
Sure.
strickaroo, like a little
a little underneath the table.
get that Asian kid. You know.
That has happened a couple of times. I mean, throughout history. I mean, I've heard crazy stories about people being swapped at birth, and
Yeah.
or just mistake of the labels. Like
Well, wasn't that the theme of a lot of like horror movies, like this cult like has like what they believe to be the devil's son, and so they need to make sure that the devil's son is raised in a particular family, so they get some wealthy somebody who's
Oh,
giving
you mean like Damien? Like
something like
Homer?
that, yeah, something like that, in which they switch it, in which they say, "Oh, you gave birth. Oh, we gotta hold on to it for a second," and they give it back, and what they give you back is the actual like devil's son, and they kill the newborn,
The newborn.
the
The
kid,
real baby.
the real baby, right,
Put him in the hood somewhere.
right, right. Just it's like jack him off.
Right. You just jack.
It's like you ain't supposed to be
Wow.
here. No, but it was but
That's pretty fucking sick, though. I mean, there's levels to sickness in certain thing, and you know, I just think the world of empathy has like gone down the tube through, again, what we talked about.
Right.
Too much interaction, too much social. We just don't give a shit anymore. Like people
About a lot of
people
things,
just
yeah.
really just don't care. It's because we're getting too much content, too fast, too furious.
Yeah.
Like we're just so inundated. I will say though, again, this Black Mirror thing has got me really bonkers.
it sounds
out.
like a Twilight Zone type thing.
Yes.
in which every episode is kind of like shows you a little freaky.
very up to date, very technologically advanced. Oh, I will say that. And
Okay.
every episode seems to dwell on this, and it's all British. It's all in Europe. It's in. It's
Oh,
all
it's a
in
British
London.
show? Okay.
It's all London because everything starts in London.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has accents and etc. Yeah, and all British, like Daniel Liu is in it. Like,
Daniel Day-Lewis, okay.
He's in it. He's in one episode, but it always has this undertone that it's this cosmic, this place that's kind of super modern today. You know what I mean? Where
Right.
London is funny though, like that. London has, I spent a lot of time out there doing a project, and London has like dirty buildings with like high tech keypads.
okay.
It's really weird. It seems almost how do you say, like post apocalyptic type. You know what I
Okay.
mean? It always has that. This is a dirty old building, but yet the fucking guy can see me. Hello, and this new shit that we have now,
Yeah.
they had years ago. I mean, they had a lot of technology in where you would think you need this new modern building, glass walls
Right.
and everything else. Their shit is like on project doors,
Right.
and keypads and ATM machines like in walls that are like like the first time I ever saw a half ATM, like a mini. It was just in a wall, like
Just okay. I see what you're
obsequious
saying. I
place.
see what
It,
you're saying,
it
yeah.
just didn't seem like why is that?
Like,
there?
why is that there?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, why is that here? But then they said, oh,
But it's in a lot of the old structures. Do they build a lot in London?
Yeah, they build a shitload in London, just like us, just like New York. It's never finished. It's tear down,
Never
tear
finished.
up, tear up, tear down. It's pretty weird, and they have. I'm not gonna keep making this a Black Mirror show, but I mean, it's such a, since we talked about my last episode with all these crazy dreams,
Uh huh.
it's like that. It feels like you're in a dream.
Feels like
It's
you're in a dream.
It's like, wait a minute, how could that happen?
That's another one to get hooked up on. I've heard about it. I just never checked it out. You said Black Mirror was good. Apparently Stranger Things is really, really good.
Never saw it. Never saw any episodes of it. I don't even know what it's about.
I think it's on the same realm, but it has more to do with kids.
Okay.
I think kids are. I don't know whether kids are evil or kids are noticing shit or
Oh, okay.
whatever.
Yeah, but that was a fun time, like being a kid and you explore shit and you see, the old man in the house and you think
Yeah.
he's got a dead body in the basement.
Yeah.
Those kind of. I mean, those were always fun, as kids. We all thought we were gonna be the Goonies, so we all thought,
Right.
we were gonna discover fucking sludge in the basement.
That's right.
Hey, you guys.
It's something when you have your imagination
Right.
with you, and all of a sudden you see something, and there's like a million things to which you think is going to be.
Right.
You get old and ragged.
Right.
You're like, oh, that's dirt.
Right.
That's dirt. No, it could be. No, that's dirt.
No,
Can you
these
get
are-
that damn dirt out of the corner?
Right. Oh, this is stardust. This is like, and we spread this on our, we're gonna have powers, or something. But I guess you don't see it that much anymore. But I guess we're not kids anymore. So.
No. Yeah.
But here in this neighborhood where I'm at now, kids they play. They
Oh, do they really?
they play in the street.
That's fantastic.
They play in the street. They leave the bikes in the street. Like, now it's a pain in the ass because you like come home and you're like, oh shit, there's a
Yeah.
bike in the middle of the road, and some kid just like got off his bike and ran home.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe fell or he hurt himself.
Right.
But they play here, which is weird.
That's great.
It's really weird.
That's great. And it's funny that saying that it's weird because that's how we grew up.
I know. It's weird, but it's weird because now I'm here and they're like, honey, get Katie out the street, get him out the way. The man's coming. Yeah. That guy, that family on the corner. And there's like 3 of us and scattered around. There's us, there's one over down the block here and another one here. And they just do the, like,
You should do like I'm all big into like taking people like if yeah
shock
like,
and awe.
like have like a I don't know like a plastic like a live doll in your back seat and then just pull up and then just take it out and just walk in the house. Just how you doing? And just walk in with this live or maybe or see if you can find like some friends of your kids and like put chains on them and then have them come out the car.
These people have the police here. No, fuck that. They will have cops here banging at the door like, All right, so you got a kid chained up in here, and
Yeah, he likes it.
yeah. What's wrong with that? Doesn't everybody have? Damn.
I moved here for the privacy in this neighborhood.
So, LeBron James,
Yes.
you following his release of his school?
No. I know he opened a school. I think it's a public school, right?
Public school.
It's a public school.
Promise Academy.
That I think he funded.
Yep.
He paid for.
Yep.
I don't know how it's going to get funded in the future, but
Right.
but yeah. But it looks look. Whatever people say a lot of shit about LeBron James. I
Right.
think the one thing you can say about LeBron James is that LeBron James has a connection to the area where he came from. Mm-hmm. He has made it public, and he's lived up to everything that he said he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's not interested in you don't see him involved in like flim-flammy shit. You
Right.
know, you don't see him.
You don't see scandal.
You don't see scandals. You don't. You don't see the stripper saying that, hey,
Right.
LeBron James double penetrated me and stuff like that, and he's got 2 penises.
Right.
And
You
you don't hear those things.
You don't see
about
the hyperbole balling. You don't see the
Right.
super tricked out truck that
Right,
can go
exactly.
to space. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like wasting his money.
I mean,
on dumb
as
shit.
multi of a millionaire he is,
Yeah.
how many times over, he seems to be a genuine,
Yeah.
authentic person who really, really wants to take advantage of these opportunities that
Yeah.
he has to make
Yeah.
his communities better and what have you. And
100%.
I know a lot of people were shitting on him for going to L.A. But then when you realize. But when you see all the things that he mentioned, like his kids are good. Like the first thing he said was that I heard was that his son is going to high school.
Uh-huh.
Well, first of all, he owns property in Los Angeles.
Right. That's
He owns
been a
2
thing.
homes in Los
Right.
Angeles. So that's number 1.
Right.
Number 2, he said when he was looking at high schools for his son, he says he liked the high schools in Los Angeles.
Okay.
His son's going to play ball. He says he liked some of the high schools, and he said it just made sense for me to be closer to home. When a guy says that, you can't hate a guy for doing that. Plus, if you want to take it to a basketball thing, Cleveland had their fucking shot, and they fucked it up
Twice.
by living with dudes like Kyle Korver and what's our homeboy's name?
Varejao?
No. What's the homeboy
JR?
that like JR who
Yeah.
who doesn't know the time clock and stuff and
You're right, and I never was a LeBron fan.
Mm-hmm.
I liked LeBron because he's a powerful player. I mean, he's make no mistake. It's like when you're playing him, your team's playing him. That's the guy.
Right.
You say we got to stop him.
right.
And you stop him, a lot of other shit can happen. I'll take a loss beating the other guy. But if that guy, like, that's almost a win for you. If you could keep
Right.
LeBron at 6 points, you could lose the game. But LeBron only had 6.
Yeah.
That to me,
Yeah.
that's a win.
Yeah. Somebody else gonna have to beat me. This
somebody
dude's
else.
gonna have to beat me.
Right. So I'd rather send the whole team at this guy.
That's right.
And be like, you're not going to beat
You won't.
the rest of these other chumps, they got a shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm so enjoying what he's doing, what he's I mean, he's literally changing history. I mean, this is not something that I've seen done before. Can you think of a time that
No.
where a celebrity has put his money where his mouth is?
No.
And put a school with guaranteed tuition. If you when you graduate, you get guaranteed college tuition. This is a phenomenon. This is really changing and reversing. And I like his comment was, he says, "Hey, you know, wouldn't it be nice to have those things that, you know, some parents, some families are born into, you know, that have that push,
Right.
that they have the opportunity to fail. They have the opportunity to fuck it up.
Right.
Just like Cleveland did.
Right.
But it's great to know that that's not on your trouble list. That's not on your. That's not on the wow. I'm a good kid. I got the grades. I don't even know where I'm going to go to school.
Right.
Because we're dealing with that. You
Right.
know, I mean, we dealt with that for Ron, and now we're doing it with Niche again. And it's like we're doing everything right. You're following the rules. You're playing by the book, and you just don't have that push. You know,
Right.
that one little nudge that doesn't enslave you, you know, going into debt, going into loans, going
Right.
into all this other stuff. So, super admirable for what he's doing. I mean,
Yeah.
that is. I mean, and I beg anyone to challenge a humanity effort. Like,
Right.
you know, come. Okay, you don't like that. Where's your plan? You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, exactly,
Like,
right.
My man, Dr. Umar Johnson. You know this guy.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoyed his journey. Like, I was all for it. I was like, yo, dope that you're doing this. But now you're just like, when's it? Like, what's gonna happen here? Maybe because we're in this microwave era, and we're looking for it to happen right away, and it does take time. I get it. He's not funded. He's not this. But you know, you got all these people sending you donations and money, and now here you go talk about, oh, you know, he's the one who had the biggest criticism about the school.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Oh yeah, why? Because he's been trying to do it forever. You know, he's been trying to put the school out. He's been trying to, you know, make it pro-black and, you know,
Right.
pan-African and whatever else. Yet, you know, I'm waiting for him to say, but like, well, I just left and went to Africa. Like, you know, like, when are you gonna go to Africa? Like, I can't understand why people want to be African in America.
Here,
Like,
right.
right. Why do you want to be here?
Well, you want to be
wanna
African
be
waiting on
African.
the subway.
Right.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
built by, you know, Germans or whatever
Right.
else. So,
Right.
you know, this is I get it. We all deserve, you know, a piece of the pie or whatever else, but it's there to get. It's available.
Well, a lot of people will disagree with you with that.
It's not available?
A lot of people will say that you are held back. A lot of people will say that that the opportunities for others are greater, while the opportunities for you, because of the color of your skin or because you have a vagina rather than a penis, then
Yeah.
those opportunities are not there for you, and it perpetuates certain cycles. And while that may be true, I think in the maybe I might be saying this wrong. It might be true in the micro. In the macro, that is not true.
Right.
To say that that is the case for the overwhelming majority of people, I think is a falsehood. Now, you can always point out an isolated case of somebody that was a victim of something, or, you know, that fell to, you know, a predatory loan, or
Right.
yeah, you know, the victim,
Victim
of
of
a
circumstance.
right, the victim of an overzealous police officer and stuff like that.
Right.
Those will always exist, unfortunately,
Right.
and we have to be diligent to make sure that we point those out.
Right,
But
right.
for the most part, no, those things don't happen. There is no reason for you not to be able to go out and make your way. It might not, you know, we have to make sure that what we do is like incrementally better.
Right.
You know, I remember when things started changing for me a little bit, and my son, who's my oldest, was going to college. The only money I had, I can only afford to help him out for one semester
Right.
of school,
Right.
college. Everything else was on him and his loans
Right.
and stuff like that.
Right.
You know,
That's tough.
and it is tough.
Tough. Yeah.
A few years later, my daughter goes to college, and I'm able to give her a decent amount of money for 2 years. You know,
So you made it
so
something
I've
change.
right, and that's a slow progress. And now to say that I should be upset because I don't have a house on the hill and I can't write a check to Harvard University,
Right.
But that would be a very disingenuous thing to say. And I would be totally ignoring the fact that, hey, wait a minute, I made this transition from, I was able to help my daughter out to pay for 2 years of school. So I lowered her debt and stuff
Right,
like that
right,
for 2
right,
years.
right.
For 2 years, give her less of a burden. Now I have this newborn.
Burden is the right word. Yeah.
I have this newborn, you know.
Right.
And I'm already now, before this child's a week old, I'm already starting the plan of, okay, well, this is, you know, I'm looking at my finances. Okay, this is how much I can start putting away, blah, 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 blah. So that when this child grows up and child do something, that pot will be even bigger.
Right.
Those are incremental changes that have happened. They aren't huge leap, big bound changes. And I
Yeah.
think there's an unwillingness for us in general, of course, I don't mean everybody,
Yeah, of course.
to make these small incremental changes.
Yeah, well, that's the key. Is you can't fix it in one day, right?
Right.
So there's never a moment where it all happens, and that's the fairy tale part of it. And unfortunately, sometimes the kids get this in their head because of
Right.
the content that's thrown around. Again, we see super sweet 16 parties. We see we're seeing celebrity breach families. It's coming into your household, and you may look like them, or people say, oh, you're close to them. It happens to my daughter all the time. They compare her to a celebrity, but she's like, but I'm not rich,
Right.
I'm not. And I'm like, but you are, healthy. You're family, you're orientated,
Right.
you're grounded. You have all the other things. Stop looking at the pot of gold, because
Right.
thank God you don't have what those
Look at
people
what
have.
you all, and look at what you do have.
Right.
Right.
The old John Wooten, stop saying what you can't, say
Right.
what you can, So, I think that there's a whole misconception of, wanting more and not appreciating that what you
Right,
have.
right.
But times are definitely changing. They are, those stories of people saying they wash dishes and cut hair at a barbershop to go to college don't exist anymore.
No, they don't.
So that's something that our country has bastardized.
Have you listened to you know who Mike Rowe is?
Uh-oh.
He used to have this show called Dirty Jobs.
Okay. Oh, I know that. Oh, Dirty Jobs?
Yeah, he had a show called Dirty Jobs.
Okay.
And one of the things that he's really pushing for is a return to vocational training.
Yes. Yeah, I love
Return
that.
to vocational training.
Yeah, I tried
he
to go
talks-
to aviation high school and automotive, and
He told a story about when he was in high school that was kind of similar to something that I've experienced too, and I didn't realize what was going on. But he was never a decent high school student. He was an average student. He was an
Right.
okay kid.
Okay. All right.
And he says he remembers going into his guidance counselor's office.
that's the Dirty Job guy.
Yeah.
Mike Rowe. Yeah.
And he remembers going into his guidance counselor's office, and remember there being a poster there. And
Okay.
the poster is of one guy sitting there in a suit and tie, executive looking.
Right.
And that same guy dressed up all covered in grease and looked like a mechanic and stuff like that. And then the caption on the poster
one do
was,
you want?
yeah,
Yeah.
work smarter, not harder.
Right. That's
And
horrible.
so sending this message
That's horrible.
right, and then you couple that with this notion that, hey, you got to go to a 4-year school if you want to
Yeah.
be a productive individual. Totally ignoring all of these people who may not even want to go to a school, or may not be smart enough to go to a 4-year school. But you know what? You give them, if they go to a community college for 2 years and get into learn how to fix cars, or
Somebody's gotta do it.
mechanical engineering and stuff like that,
100%.
and whatnot.
Cooking.
We're losing out because we keep saying that people need jobs,
Right.
but then there are companies who are saying we got jobs, but we
Right.
don't have people who are qualified to do it.
100. That's what I meant earlier when it said it's out there. The pie is
Mm-hmm.
out there, and that people are asking the job to come to them.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying, "Well, I can't do much, but I'm good-hearted and I want to feed my family." But what can you do? Nothing. So this,
Right.
The competency from the people. It is a two-way agreement. That's what I
Right.
meant earlier. It was
Okay.
like, it's not that just because you're up and able, and I tell people all the time, I say that what you can't do with your brain, you could do with your back. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like at some point, you're better at something than someone else is. You may be stronger than me, so you could do the heavy lifting. You could do
Right.
the muscle. I could do the brain work. You know what I'm saying? But you have to find where you're good at.
And you gotta be willing to do it.
And you got to be willing to do it. So, when it's, hey, if you just want, but you can't pick, oh, I don't want to clean toilets,
Yeah, yeah.
Like those things they have to be done. And even though it's a dirty job or a
Right.
shit detail, it is a work that requires so that things are kept clean, so that
Right.
things are working and
And there's
functioning.
value in that.
And there is
there's-
value in it. There is super value in it. And I just can't stand the people that believe that, at what point did working at McDonald's become shameful?
Right. Right.
Like, when did that happen? Like,
Right.
and it happened with my generation. It happened. Oh, you work at McDonald's, man.
Yeah.
And it shamed them. They shamed kids into. Now that would be a movement, right? That would be something they would call it. You can't shame people for taking low class jobs. I mean, I
Right.
think we're gonna go there.
We might have to. I mean, we might. I mean, listen. God bless
Social
him.
communism.
Tony Bourdain, who's
Yeah.
he in an interview he said he was in some way an influential person for like 20 plus years when he was actually working in a kitchen as a head chef.
Chef, yeah.
As a head chef. He said not once did any American kid ask him for a job. Not once did anybody say, "Hey, I could, help me, can I get a job as a prep cook or
Right.
as a
How do I get
cleaning
in?
dishes
Right.
or whatever." He said that never happened
I
once.
believe it. I believe it 100%.
And that's a shame. And then what you have is a bunch of immigrants, whether legal or illegal, we could argue all that stuff like that,
Yeah.
will take any job because they know that is the
gateway.
that is the gateway
Right.
into it. When I hit the Hempstead train station at 5 o'clock in the morning,
Right.
there's a bunch of Mexicans and Latinos and whatnot, all with their bag of lunch and they're in their shitty clothes, and then they're heading out to some
Yeah.
construction job, and they're ready
Yeah.
to bust their
They're ready
ass
to
for
work.
like 12 hours,
Right.
and it'll pay off for them.
It
It'll
will,
eventually pay off because they'll end up, maybe getting a better house or putting
Right.
their kids in a better school. Who knows? Some people will pull their money together. They'll buy that store on the corner and whatnot. And then the people who did nothing will say, well, they just giving these people stores. They let them get stores. Nigga can't get a store for nothing, man.
Right.
They let these spicks in here go over there and get all the stores
right.
that they
You
want.
can't
They don't
just-
realize. You realize this dude worked his ass off for X amount of years, saved up some money, wrote a check, and then
I know.
built his business.
Listen, it happens all the time. I see it all the time. I see it in my business. I see it in, everything. People just want the shortcut. They want the shortcut all the time, and they don't know that putting in the work is like, okay, I went to my conference in Miami, which was the National African American Black Hotel Owners, Operators, and Developers. It was a great conference, great summit. NABHOOD. The NABHOOD. Yeah, I don't like the name only because it gives that hood.
That
and
hood
people
thing,
go,
yeah.
You go into the hood.
People
Then
do a double take.
yeah,
with that.
exactly. But everyone's story there. So you have this year. I've seen more. I see they're focusing on the students and really trying to get people to learn and be a part of hospitality. And the one thing that everyone comes. So I spoke on a panel that was about the journey, right? And how to be successful in. I don't even call myself successful, but hey, someone else does. I guess that's what it means, right? So they asked me to just Q&A. We talked about where we started, and
Right.
I gave my story. Hey, I started serving minibar bottles,
Right.
and I worked my way up. And next thing you know, I was fascinated with this, and I said, "How do you do that?" And then I said, "So I was the peekaboo. I went in. I stayed later. I did it on my time. I was having a baby. Ron was being born, and they asked, "Hey, anybody want to take another shift?" Yeah, okay. Because why? I had a strong mother
Right.
with family and strong people behind her. I knew that she wasn't just sitting at home waiting for me to bring home milk. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There was a support group. So
That's another thing. Having a
Right,
support group,
right.
and we don't want to say this, but when you have two parents
it's a
raising
plus.
kids, that's a
It's
tremendous
a plus
leg up
all
on
the
everything.
time. Listen, I go through that all the time, and I tell the kids now. I said, you don't have to be ashamed that you have both your parents. Like, these people that want to make it. Like, oh, well, you have two parents. That's yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Actually,
Right.
that's kind of the way the shit's
Kind of
supposed
how
to work.
you got here too. You know what I'm saying? But because of people's mentality, needs, want, and reality, they can't get themselves out of that paper bag. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the point I was trying to make was that everyone says, well, how do I really have to do all of that? Yes, you do have to do all of that because there is no. I said you may start out wanting to do this, but do something else, and an opportunity is going to open itself because you're there. Like you don't meet church girls at parties.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You meet them
Exactly.
at church.
Right. Exactly.
You
Right,
want to
right.
be in the hotel business? You meet with you got to be in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be in the business, in the field. There's no, all these guys, these fucking pop-up rappers that want to be rappers, right? They all sit in their basements and their laptops and they record and
Right.
they think, hey, how am I gonna get discovered? Well, get the fuck out of your
Get out of
basement.
your basement.
Go out and jam. Go find tours. Go find, and even if you're not on the tour, you have to roll. You have to go. I
Right.
follow these guys. I've been running with them because there's always ancillary things that happen around
Right.
it that you could be a part of. But you got to be in it. You can't.
Right.
You can't say I want it and don't mix it.
Right.
Go into the right
Right.
crowd. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, you don't want to. Right, you don't show up as the headliner. You don't show up at the top of the
Right,
bill.
right.
You start off at the bottom. That's
Right.
how it works for 99.99999%. Yes, there is that freak that when they get they pop and they hit a string and then
Yeah.
they all of a sudden jump to the top. Yes, that is not the norm. That is not
Right.
the average person. That is not the person who can make it, and you can make a career out of things. You don't,
Sure.
it doesn't have to be, you don't have to. For some reason, dudes in the hood always want to like have like a mansion, but treat it like they're still in the hood. So it's this weird comment. Like they want the mansion in the hood.
Right.
So they want to pull up to the bodega in their freaking Bentley.
Right.
And whatnot. And
With a
just there's these
sandwich.
there's these two like you want that thing, but you still want to be connected here and stuff. And they want to like be able to jump back and forth, jump
Yeah.
back and forth, and sometimes that's not always possible.
Well, it doesn't work. It doesn't translate well in the real world. I mean, there's tons of people who try that. The saying we have is the streets don't love you back. You could love the street, you could love your block, you could rep the, I'm 187, 184.
Right.
The blocks don't really love you. You kiss the ground and never kiss you back. All it could do is bury you
Right.
or catch your blood. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. Like all the streets can do is bury you or catch your blood.
Right, and catch your blood or bury you. I mean, that's what the streets do to you. They do that. That's all they're there for. I mean, and get walked on but how much do you clean? How much do you clean your street? How much do you sweep up? Do you do housekeeping? Do you that's the only love you're going to, it's almost like a trophy, right?
Right.
How much do you polish your trophy? Do you
Right, yeah.
fucking dust all over it? Then you really didn't, you don't really cherish that award. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It was just the flavor of the month. It was the day you got it. It seems to be the what's happening now. Everyone's just
Want to be the next flavor of the month.
indeed.
The next
indeed.
flavor.
So yeah, man. So a new fatherdom at you are gonna have a birthday soon.
I will have a birthday soon. I'm going to hit the 50. The 50.
You're gonna hit the big 50.
The 50.
How do you
I tell
feel?
you, I feel better. It's funny. When I was 20,
Yeah.
thought I knew everything. thought I knew what was going
Figured out-
on.
yeah.
Figured out life was
Right.
going on. 30, realized I didn't know shit.
Right.
40, I was just starting to like make this transition to like, oh, okay, maybe I can put a foothold in here and do something, And I've always said I've gone through a second adolescence. Like I've been fortunate enough to have these opportunities of things that make life good. I
Yeah.
think it's good to have a wife. It's good to have children.
Sure.
It's good to have
Yeah.
to be with somebody who you are building stuff with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think those are good things. And I now have the opportunity to do those things again. And I'm living through a second adolescence. And I'm looking forward to the next part of my life. I can say that I was like when I was like 35 and 36. I don't think I was looking forward to the next couple years and stuff. But now I'm looking forward to it, and it's exemplified in the birth of Miles. In the birth of Miles, and then I look at
That's dope.
it's one of those things like it still chokes me up even now when I left the apartment today. And I was leaving, and I just looked, and I saw, my wife sitting there with the baby. I started like tearing up. I was like,
okay.
oh my God, this is, and it's more than just that. It's like this is a future. This is
Right.
It's kind of like how, because we have boys, we can probably say this. We can kind of like say that we're gonna live forever now.
Well, you're gonna live another generation.
We're
for
gonna
sure.
we know that this thing is gonna get carried on forward.
Right.
So hopefully we'll
Right.
instill some things that like a little piece of us will travel as they do their own thing, and
Yeah.
as they start their families, and
Yeah.
as they live go in their communities and build businesses and stuff like that. Hopefully
doubt.
some of the things that we've instilled in them will carry forward.
Well, that is always the plan. You know, it's you know, it was a lady at church, and she says to me one day, she says, your kids are great. They, you know, I love them. You know, whatever. I said, keep loving them. That's how they grow.
Right.
When more people show them that they appreciate them. But then she flipped the conversation on me and said, "Can I introduce you to my nephew? I want him to be like that."
No.
I said, "No, this didn't happen today."
Right. Right.
Kids, my son's 24, my daughter's 18. You know, it took time.
It took some time,
and
and we're still working.
and my kids are here in church. Where's your nephew? Like, this was part of his. This was part of our kids' reason why they got a little bit of lessons. You know, they got different teachings. They got different people to influence them, and they made their own decisions. And she herself, the lady in front of me, you know, she's at church. She sings in the choir. I said, if you see it here, if the only place you see it is here, yet your nephew's not here, and you want me to, what do you want me to do? Go to his house and play with him, play Xbox? I don't know. Like, I said, I can't. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm not that available. I said, that's number one. Number two, I'm no fucking role model here. Unless this kid wants to drink fucking beer and Tito's with me, you know, I'm like, what, you don't even know me enough to say, you know, you just see something, a package, and you want this for you want me to help you do this.
Right.
And I'm
you
like,
see the finished product. You see the package under the tree.
right.
You know.
I said, this kid can't even fucking keep his room clean. You know, his room smells like a gym. Like, that's why he's down here. That's why he's here in that fucking place. And it's sealed off. It's like a crime scene in his. No, what are you talking about? This is clean. And,
Doesn't smell too bad.
right. So I'm like, you want that? Like, I don't understand. Like, how can people see it? Like, people do that with me with work. You know, they see it, and fortunately, I post a lot and I show stuff because it's inspiring to some people. Some people go, yo, I want a job. You know, I want to work with you. How do I do it? I said, you just do it. You just do it. Like, what are you asking me for? You know what I mean? Like, go do it. Well, they just want the good part.
Right.
They want that.
Right.
They want the traveling and trips. I say, all right, well, you know,
you know how many reports I got to file? You know how many?
And I send it to them. I have a spreadsheet that I send people, and I said, when you could populate this with 3,000 line items and give me a status update on us, and they said, well, how? You got to show me this. I said, okay, but it took me 30 fucking years to do it. It took me 30 years to learn how to do this. You want it today, and you want me to teach it to you. In a way that you won't be frustrated, and a way that it's easy for you.
Right.
So forget the hard work I put in. Forget that was always like the LL Cool J thing, like back in the days. You know, everybody wanted to get on when they saw LL starting to make moves.
Right.
And no one wanted. He said, but I got the door slammed on me 30 fucking times. I got kicked out of clubs. I got thrown and said, go fuck yourself. Y'all don't want none of that.
Right.
Y'all want the, yo, how you like me now? You know what I'm saying? Mama said knock you out.
Right.
And they don't want to do it. It's just something about people that get the fuck it's, you know? Fuck it.
No, that's probably the reason why we love comedians too, because comedians are like a group of people that like their whole, you know, you look at a comedian who you like, and you say, man, they're doing really well. Don't realize how many times you got booed off a stage, how many times you worked for like $20, you know.
Free fucking
work for free, pretty much.
Didn't work out right like I thought it would. You know, that happens a lot, and you know, yeah, you're right. I guess people don't see that. I mean, even same thing with my shirts and stuff. Like, I get to the point where I'm like, yo, man, shit ain't making me money. I do nothing. I make more money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Than to lose my time to go in the shop, to
Right.
turn on the engines, to turn everything on, to do all this other stuff, because I didn't do it for the money. I did it to have accomplishments, and every job to me was like, oh man, they're wearing my shirt. They're wearing, you know, and it was like a banner. You know what I'm saying? A badge. How do you call it? Badge. You know,
Badge.
it's like
Yeah.
more of a
Badge of honor. Right.
badge of honor thing. And yeah, it was fair trade, you know, but I didn't do it to get rich. I didn't do it to make. Then it became and I always said, when it's not fun anymore, I'm just gonna fall back a little bit, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like,
Okay.
it's not fun anymore. People are making this too much business for me, which I agree. It was a business, but it was meant to be an exclusive business. It was, I don't do it for everybody. So when everybody gets it, it's no longer, you know.
Yeah.
And then the people go, well, I can get it anywhere. I just wanted to hook you up and give you. And I'm just like, get it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I want to deal with the people I want to deal with. Like I like working with certain groups. I like working with certain customers.
Right.
I like having special people that I cater to. It's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And this goes back to like the cakes and the people the. Make
Gay
me,
cakes
make me
and
a
what?
gay,
Yeah, make me a gay cake.
What is a gay cake?
Make me a gay cake.
A bag of dicks?
Make me a cake with two dudes blowing each other on it,
You know,
and have the side like of white icing that looks like the guy's semen dripping from the
come
fucking.
on. Fucking buddy. What's the guy? The cake master? What's his name?
He's got a
Buddy.
place out in Long Island, right? Doesn't he?
He's got one on 42nd Street now.
Oh, he's got one in Midtown, really?
Yeah. He's got one
Cake
right,
Boss?
Right, Cake Boss. Yeah, right at Port Authority, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bad choice because it's a fucking dope fiend heroin clinic right there. And guys,
He had to have gotten that place cheap.
yeah.
He had to have gotten that relatively cheap. And you also, I mean, because of his name, it's a tourist.
Well, Cake
It's got to
Boss,
be. Well, I guess,
is-
but I guess you can. Like, if you're making, like, you're not going to be a tourist and go get a cake.
right.
Like, get a cake made because I'm here for the weekend.
right.
You know, for the damn
well,
tennis tournament.
well, the little pastries, I guess, I'm assuming.
like the
so-
cupcakes and stuff, maybe.
Right. So you
Okay.
micro
All
it.
right.
You micro it. You take this custom, and it's a toy or it's a truck or a car or something.
Yeah.
You know. So I could see where that could be something funny, goofy, and you know. Again, now it's unfortunate, but everybody unfortunately lives through this social lens. You know, which
Yeah.
is I just want to go there, take a picture with it, and then it's done. I can throw it away. I don't even need it anymore.
We those dudes were a few years ago. They did a cake for some event at Hofstra,
Okay.
and they actually filmed it for their show. And so it was kind of interesting to be there for the unveiling, for the filming, and stuff like that.
That had to be
And
fun.
It was fun, yeah, but it was also, they were also shooting a show.
Right.
So there was a bunch of stops and starts.
Oh, I-
And there was a bunch of, okay, guys, listen, when everybody comes in, we need to make sure you hear them loud and clear. Let's do
producer.
it up, Hofstra style. Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
right.
And then everybody, like, and they take shots of everybody walking around, sipping the cake. And you can see them making choices. What am I trying to say? Like, if the black guy is sharing a cake with the Asian woman,
Right.
well, they want to take that picture.
Right.
You know,
Right, I got you.
if
Yeah.
if the white girl with the colored hair is sharing a cake with the overweight guy, then they want to take that picture.
Yeah,
that type
it's-
of thing.
it's scripted. I
You know,
mean,
it's kind of like
it's,
you kind of like show, hey, this is the kind of people that we are. We're not just regular people.
Right.
You know, they don't take pictures of like regular people which is what all we are. We were just standing around, you know, enjoying this cake, and
Right.
you know, my wife's talking with her colleagues and stuff like that. And I'm feeling like a fifth wheel, just like, putzing around, and you
Who's
know,
the old guy?
pretty much that's what I get all the time
That happened to me.
when I
at,
walk on that campus.
I went to me and Ron went to a Boston Celtics game in Boston.
Okay.
I took the train up. I was fortunate. A friend of mine gave me some tickets. It was like, hey, take your son to the game. And I was like, Ron, how far are you from Poughkeepsie to Boston? He was like, I can get there in a couple hours, whatever. And he had his car, and I said, all right, meet me at the Garden. I got tickets. Go see Knicks versus Boston in Boston Garden.
Nice.
Fucking awesome, man. Train ticket, and then I rode back with him after the game because there was no more trains, etc. So I went back to his college and stayed at his dorm. And all you saw was like, it was the old guy out there, you know. And mind you, I slept on a couch that
Oh, you have to get sanitized after that?
I had fucking pneumonia when I woke up. Like, I was viral. I mean, stuff came out of me that was like, I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't breathe. I had a damn near collapsed lung or some
Shit.
shit. I was fucked up. And then I caught the flu. I had the flu. So, you know, when you get the frazzle, your hair.
Yeah.
your
Everything
follicles
hurts. Everything hurts.
I was like, fuck this couch. It was like a fucking kangaroo pouch. I had my hand in the thing and gooey shit came out. It was like gummy bears and fuck. I was like, you nasty motherfuckers. Like, he's like, I don't even go in that couch. Like,
But you let me sleep
you
here.
Let me fucking sleep here. And I was shivering like a dog on a sidewalk, man. I had my jacket. It was raining. It was, what a fucking night. And I was like, this is the worst fucking college experience. And he's looking at me like, you all right? Well, I ain't sleeping in a fucking bed with you. But man, but what a ride! I mean, 4 hours on the. You ever go up to Boston? You go that way?
No.
On the
Well, I
Amtrak?
have. I've never taken like Amtrak or anything.
Dude,
like
nice
that.
fucking ride.
I've driven.
Nice ride because it just takes the coastline all the way up,
Mm-hmm.
and you're staring at the water the whole way, and there's a lot of stuff to see. You
Okay.
know, it's a lot of. I guess I went in October ish, fall, so the you
Yeah.
know, the foliage, I guess, as they say. It was a nice ride. Amtrak is pretty cool. I like Amtrak if it wasn't for time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it wasn't for time. But then when you look at like, you ever compare an Amtrak ticket to a plane
It's
ticket?
not cheap.
The shit's damn near the same.
$93 or
It's-
something. I'm like, what? Wait, why? You know, like
I was looking at tickets for my daughter visited, and then she asked if I could help her get a ticket back. I said, okay, I'll get you a ticket back, and she said, look, just get me a bus ticket. I'll take a bus back.
Right.
And I was like, let's not take a bus. So I was looking at a plane ticket, and I was looking at a train ticket. Let me see a train ticket. And the plane ticket and the train ticket cost the damn near same amount.
someone said Amtrak is a medium popcorn. It's almost enough to get. You might as well get the fucking.
You might as well get the large,
You might as well
right?
get the large.
You might as well
If
get
you're
the
gonna go
large
small, take the
popcorn.
bus.
Right.
You know,
Right,
take the bus.
which is what
take
we
the
did.
bus.
We took the bus.
Right.
Right.
So it's
So it
me.
was
Fuck
like we took the
medium.
small, right.
Fuck medium. Like there's no medium here anymore. No such thing as medium. Medium was only meant to upsell you or realize you didn't need that much.
Some places don't. Who is it? What is it?
Somebody
in,
doesn't do medium.
There's
Fucking
no.
Starbucks. or
Is it?
something. I don't know.
I
They
think Europe doesn't
do medium.
They don't do mediums. And as a matter of fact, they don't even do larges. I think they just do like once. Like this is like
Espresso.
one. Well, that what their large is like this.
Cafe.
That would be like a large,
Oh,
not the
that's
fucking mega.
No, this is 16 ounces. 8
Not
ounces.
the
I
mega.
mean, this is-
Yeah, but we also have the fucking mega trunk and
Yeah, true. No, this is 16
Cups.
ounces. I think. It's
whatnot.
a lot.
You know.
No, we do consume a lot of that shit, sizing and stuff. But I never was a fan of that venti, you know.
Oh, yeah.
The
Well, the whole language and
Yeah,
shit,
I-
it just I don't get my
it's a club. It's a
It-
club.
it is a club.
It's a
It is a
club.
club.
If you know how to say it the right way, you get. Oh, thank you for making our life.
My wife's a big Starbucks fan, so she likes Starbucks. So she was in the hospital. She asked me to go get her some Starbucks. She had to text me what she orders because it's this long paragraph of complicated.
That her Starbucks knows how to do it.
Right, exactly. But then when you go into a different area, you got to be able to say the same thing. So I just have the
script.
thing there, and I'm just reading. We want a grande in a tall cup with extra ice, 4 pumps of sugar, and so I ordered hers, and then she said, anything else? I said, yeah, and a black coffee.
Yeah. Regular.
Is that a
nigga.
vente?
Yeah.
What's
Regular.
that?
Yeah, whatever that is.
Whatever that is. And she told me she never had the girl behind the counter. And then she says, hot coffee. I'm like, yes, coffee's supposed to be hot.
Yeah.
And this woman told me, she said she's never had hot coffee. She's never had a hot coffee in her life. Now, granted, she was young. She was probably in her
drinks it
early
only
20s.
like
It wasn't
drinks,
only
like
like in drinks or like an iced coffee. I'm like, well, no, coffee's supposed to be hot. You're supposed to have a
I don't drink hot
cup
coffee. though.
of hot coffee. No?
No. I don't know.
Ah. Fuck is wrong with you guys, man?
Yeah.
It's already becoming fucking.
I drink black coffee just cold. I just put
You
it
do
over
drink
ice.
iced black coffee, yes.
That's it.
You do
I
drink
like
iced black
I like
coffee.
robust coffee brewed properly, but just like it cold. I don't care to drink it hot.
It's got to be hot, even on the hottest day. It's got to be hot coffee. Something about like taking, like when I go to work, there's something about getting that first cup of coffee that
Yeah.
just feels good. It feels like everything's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah. I
be
mean,
okay.
it's a thing for some people. It's a. I'm just.
The
I
world's
hated.
gonna be
I always
fine.
hated the testing it, then it's waiting. Is it ready yet? No, it's not. I'm fucking holding this thing, waiting for it to get the right temperature. Then it's good to taste. Although I enjoy it. I mean, I don't hate it. You know what I'm saying? And like in the diner,
You don't choose it. You don't.
if I could get, I always say just bring me a regular black coffee. I don't even ask for iced coffee because they make it. They think it's a smoothie or something. No, fucking just coffee, just black. Same way you're making it, just pour ice in it.
Put ice in it.
Yeah, and they go. Oh, you can do that. I make it watery. I said, okay, let's make a strong coffee. and throw some ice in. So I just asked for a tall glass of water. I mean, a tall glass of ice and a
And
regular
your black coffee.
Black coffee. You just keep that. One of my clients, he's a Hungarian guy, right? Talks like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? So it's like, and he's the biggest jokester. But when we were doing the job in Toronto, and he every breakfast, it's a fucking nightmare going with this guy. Listen, I want 1 cup blueberries in a small bowl. And he's telling the waiter, and the waiter's like, okay, I don't know whether to start laughing. Or I think the waiter thinks he's fucking with him. 1 small bowl, blueberries all over. 1 mixed berries and fruit, and then 1 yogurt, a tall glass of whole milk, and it's like it comes, and he fucking freaks out every time. These blueberries are not ripe, or you know, he like counts the fucking blueberries, and he has this bag of fucking sawdust that he keeps with him, which is like some granola shit he made. You know, I guess he puts it together himself, and he makes this whole fucking Broadway play production, and we're sitting there like, dude, give me the eggs Benedict.
Yeah,
give
give
me
me
the
your
fucking-"
eggs.
And we slopping shit up because we got to go to the job site, and we doom. Okay, cool, sir. This is not a tall glass of milk. And the guy's like, what the fuck? And you're new here, right? Okay. Call the manager and every day. It's like, dude, just get the fucking. It's not that serious. Like, I don't know, for whatever reason, he makes his thing. He's one of those guys that's super annoying, but he's funny. He's cool. Once you get past his shit, like his rhetoric and stuff, and it's like, he's like Roadhouse. He's always got some little fucking Peter. But you know, people just have their things.
People got their quirks
like,
about
you
them.
like your coffee. You like, you know. Everybody has their thing.
Everybody's got their thing.
Everybody's got their thing.
You're right.
As long as it's not crack.
That's right. Exactly.
Crack or
It's like,
heroin.
no, I like my crack in a clear pipe,
Right.
used by 2 Taiwanese hookers. Please, Jesus Christ, you can't get your crack the way you want it anymore. Fuck, man.
What the fuck is the
What is
world
going
coming to?
on now?
But yeah, man. So, anything going on this week? I'm in San Diego this week.
Oh, San Diego?
Yeah.
San Diego's a lovely place.
I love San Diego.
It's expensive, but it's a lovely place.
Yeah, I'm there from Wednesday to Saturday.
Okay.
So I leave Wednesday.
Are you flying into San Diego?
I'm flying into San Diego, straight shot.
You gonna dip over to Tijuana?
If
Whatever. Now, do you have to, taking that there's a possibility of you going down into Tijuana, you got to make sure you have your passport or something like that?
yeah, I always travel with my passport. I do always travel with my passport,
Even
but
when you're flying in the States.
yeah, for some reason I just keep it packed up and zipped in my bag.
Right.
I never know what's gonna happen.
You don't have to look for it.
Yeah, I mean it's just easier. It's just a lot easier to move around. But yeah, that should be interesting. So I have gone to Tijuana. The last time I was in San Diego, I did go to Tijuana. I was working on the House of Blues right there on Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
And put a hotel on top of it. The guy was in jail. The client. It's weird.
Is it in San Diego or Tijuana?
No, he was in jail in Orange County,
Okay.
Laguna Beach. He was a white collar crook.
Okay.
Guy made a living fucking stealing properties. Like, how do you steal real estate? Like, motherfuckers like signing shit over, taking people's multiple buildings. Like,
Yeah.
guys partner with, guy was a partner with, went on away with vacation, came back, and he was like, yeah, we sold. He was like, what? Yeah, we sold, bought you out. Your check is coming. It's in the mail. The guy was like, wait a minute, I was just on vacation, man. You can't fucking sell the property. Well, we had to let it go. That's how bad he was. And then he had a website that had, he had 6 kids from 6 different moms.
Oh.
So he was like one of those guys. Playboy. He's this big. He's this big. He had muscle worked out. And, you know, these guys play with the candy. You know, they do the booger sugar.
Yeah.
And I remember though, I guess one of the women mothers called my office and said, "Oh, did the funding come in?" You know, and that's a normal question. But wait, who are you? You know, I didn't know.
Right.
So I said, "Did Fifth Avenue's fund that we're calling? We're just making sure that the funds went through for the project, and etc." And I'm like, "Yeah, who's this?"
It's like,
Like, what?
ah!
Wait a minute. Like, that was a stupid call. And then, like, I thought we just got disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
I get a call from him. Yo, we can't talk to these people. They're out for blood. They're going to kill me. They're trying to... Why'd you tell them we got the money? I said, who? I said, somebody called and asked me, were we funded? I said, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't give details.
Right.
I didn't say, oh, it was 3.8 million. It was so-and-so, this and that. And actually, this guy, this was such a bad guy. I had to testify in a court case for something I wrote. I mean, I underwrote the order for $250,000 in linen from Italy, an Italian linen company, and I did a Skype court case. I went to court on Skype. Yeah. Okay. And I had to swear
you in, show your hand up.
Weirdest thing I've ever done. I'm sitting here like kind of excited, you know. It's like at my desk, like, hi.
Did you get dressed up?
Yeah.
Oh, it was at work.
No, I was home. I was home literally, but I was working from home at the time, and I just did it. Yeah, I was dressed. I didn't do the half pants.
Okay.
Fearful if I got up. I really got dressed. I actually had on a suit and did the fucking interview and whatever else. And actually, the only reason I was named in the court because I wrote the docket, but I have no financial, fiduciary involved in it. And it was simply just because I was named in it and how to make the deal. But and I'll tell you how I helped the guy, my client, only because terms and conditions. This is how people don't read, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like I'm a genius in it or whatever else, but it's what the paper says. Like, you're not supposed to do more than what the paper says. So if we go into a contract and you say, this order starts with 50% deposit and, you know, nothing happens until we get the deposit. Right. They never got the deposit. Okay. So I gave him a piece of paper, ordered $250,000 worth of linen, you know, to fill the whole building, and pillowcases, duvets, custom shit. Oh, it's $250,000. He never got the deposit, right? But this guy, the owner, called them and said, "Hey, what's up? It's me. I'm the owner. You know, great, you guys are doing this for us. I hope you're getting ready. We're gonna open up in April. We're gonna be the best. You know, it's great, jewel box. You know." And the guy goes, "Yeah, but we're still waiting on a deposit." You know, he says, "Look, man, I just closed this other day." He was a fucking wankster. I mean, this guy even had me like, okay, do I pull him all the way down? Or, you know, how do we do this? You know, I was literally like, this guy he had that. He had it. I don't know what it was. He used it for bad things. And the guy called me, says, Mr. Cohen or whatever. And he goes, "Oren, we're going to go ahead and put the order in production. I spoke with the ownership, and we great guy, you know, this and that." I said, "Hey, listen, man, I can't tell you how to run your business. I'm not changing the PO. I'm not changing the contract. So the contract is written. It's cemented already. It's caramelized with signatures and stuff. It doesn't change from here on. So thank God, because the terms were no production." So the judge is saying, "Doesn't your contract say you don't start until you receive the deposit?" And the judge says, "And how much was the deposit you received?" And I said, "We didn't receive a deposit." "So why'd you start the order?" They were suing because he canceled the order at the end. When the shit came up, the motherfucker opened the bag. He was like, this feels cheap. Send it back. What? Like, wait, this shit was built for you. It was sewn. It was, you know, 400 thread count. It was weaved with a bunch of fucking Italian weavers, you know, all went to work because of his specifications and made it with his name on it and everything else. And he took one, it's cheap. I don't like it. Send it back. I'm going to get something else. And the guy was like, and he paid nothing. He gave no money down. He talked the guy into, so the guy was mad that he bypassed. And the judge said, "Listen, you did bad business. You have a paperwork that says don't start until you receive the deposit. That's set to protect you from stuff like this. Right. So if you'd have had your half deposit, then I could understand him not paying you the balance." Right. And the guy goes, "Well, it was all about relationships and this business." He says, "I get it. And I'm sorry that you've taken that risk, but you took a risk on your own. This paperwork is legitimate. The customer is saying he had no arrangement with you because he did not engage financially. Nothing. You awarded nothing." And I hit the gavel on the guy, and the guy was sitting there like, but Italians are gonna kill me, and which is probably true. This big Italian factory and whatever else, he must have put it on the line and said, "Yo, ship it, ship the goods." And I refused it at the warehouse. I said, "No, don't accept it, because once we hold it, now
Then you're responsible.
yeah, we received it." So I said, "Make sure you don't receive this." So we did everything right for a bad guy.
Right.
That's sometimes the guy was really bad. I mean, he was a bad client, but he's still none of my client. You know.
Right.
So you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, schmuck.
Schmuck, he was right. So
Schmuckage.
I will be in San Diego. I don't know if I'll have time to go to Tijuana, but would love to.
Tijuana's gonna be nice. Tijuana should be nice.
Tijuana's
I
got some
went. I was there a long time ago.
Yeah.
What, like 30 years ago. Something like that.
And Coronado Beach I went to, so which is right there, and you go Coronado Beach and then Tijuana. Actually, only reason we went there is because I wanted to see it because I was so close.
Right.
And I had a driver, and the guy I was opening the hotel, and the guy was like, "Where do you want to go?" I was like, "I want to go to fucking Mexico if it's that close." If someone said I can, I want to do it. You know, just like when I went to the pyramids, I was like, I can't come this fucking close
And not
the
see it. And
You
not see
tell
it.
somebody you went to Egypt, and they go, "Man, you see
Oh,
pyramids?"
pyramids?
Yes.
Yeah, nah.
No, I didn't have time. Fuck that. I could go Miami and never touch the water, which I do all the time. I never go to the beach in Miami for whatever reason. It's not,
I'm that way too.
yeah, because I go to Miami to go to Miami. I'm there for whatever
Yeah.
reason, but I'm not there for the beach. It's not the coolest beach. You know, Miami Beach is not fun. Like, it's not blue water and all that shit. It's like fucking Far Rockaway. I'd rather go to Robert Moses. Which, by the way, we are hosting Family Day next Sunday.
That's
Robert
next
Moses.
Sunday?
That's next Sunday, man.
That's next
August
weekend?
12th.
Oh, wow.
August 12th, Robert Moses State Park. Be there or be square. Bring something for the grill. We'll have plenty of stuff to do. A lot of fun, family.
You
And
segued
friends.
into that fucking awesomely.
Hey.
You just turned on that radio voice. By the way, we're gonna be at Robert Moses.
Petey Green. Learn from the great Petey Green. He is the real Petey Green. You ever see any
Yes.
clips of him?
Yes.
They seem like somehow they keep popping up now.
Yes.
He's awesome, man.
I seen the one of him when he was saying something about watermelon.
He
like,
was tasting.
He was
so good.
drinking watermelon. He was eating watermelon. Watermelon's so good. He says, one of the things they told me, he said, yeah, you DC niggas get too crazy with the salt on your watermelon.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed of
Shame
your watermelon.
Yo, he is great. He was a character.
He was.
We miss those kind of guys, right? The Wolfman Jack.
The characters, yeah.
Who else was there? Howard
It was
Cosell.
Wolfgang Jack, it was Howard Cosell. You talk about Petey Green. Who was there?
What's the Quiet Storm guy?
Oh,
Von Harper.
Von Harper. Champagne.
Dr.
I used
Bob
to
Lee
love
hosted last
Bob
night.
Lee.
He was there. He was at. We did Resort World last night. We had a concert there with Jeff Red,
Okay.
Melissa Morgan,
Ooh.
Will Trax. Listen, I screamed at Melissa Morgan last night. I got the video here. I said, "You owe me money for these goddamn kids." And she looked at me. She says, "Everybody." I was like, "Damn, that Do Me Baby and all that." She freaked it though. She's still kicking it.
Yeah.
She's a little thick, but she's still kicking it. Jeff Red's still doing the same two songs.
Jeff Red.
You
So one time there was a me and my man Pino, we marveled that there was this Jeff Red Greatest Hits album. And we're like, what could be on there? But the two damn songs that we know him for. And for some reason I look at Jeff Red and it's been a while. I just remember him with the flat top.
Yeah.
I just remember with the flat top. And for some reason he just looked like Daffy Duck to me. He just looked and that was the younger Jeff Red. I'm sure the older Jeff Red is,
He had a nice show actually last night. He sang. He did "Rising to the Top."
Okay.
He did a lot of cover song. I think his cover song game got better
Okay.
because he went into some of those old. He did like a OJ's
Oh, okay.
type of joint, modernized it a little bit. So that was cool. I enjoyed that. He had a great show.
That's good to hear. Those dudes still
Yeah.
like still performing, still
Yeah, he looks
Earning-
good. He looks in
earning
shape. He
living
looks
and-
like he's dancing. He's got his little gig going on. And he's like, "I got a new album coming out," and everybody's like, "Oh,
It's like, oh, yeah.
this is as far as it goes here."
You put it on Twitter,
Yeah. What's that? Twitter.
on the Twitter,
On the Twitter box.
on the Twite feed. Ooh,
I know.
tick. What was that?
I forgot to stop the recording.
Oh, okay.
But we got video, audio.
Oh, we're all over the place.
We're all over the
Shoo,
place.
shoo, shoo, shoo. And speaking of all over, we're going to be all over Robert Moses Park next Sunday.
August 12th, family friend, field number 4. Get there early, get a spot. We'll be out there about 7 o'clock. We can get a
In the
spot.
morning?
Yeah, me and boy Drake gonna go set up the tents and get an
Mhm.
early spot so that, because we want to be by the grills like we were last time,
Right.
and make sure we get that going on. Everybody's like, we want to bring generators and power. I was like, guys, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a beach.
It's not the apocalypse. It was just
They want to bring speakers, and I said that we're not. It's not a jam. It's not
Mhm.
a. It's not a.
Are we going to record? You want to record over there?
We could bring cameras out. Bring
Record for a little bit. I don't think I can bring the baby.
No.
It's
It's too hot.
Yeah.
Too bothery. Yeah. Unless you had an RV. You know, we rented one
Hook
once
up the
to go
RV.
to tailgate at the Giants Stadium,
Mhm.
Giants Dallas game, and they want to do that again this year.
The
That'd be
RV?
fun. Yeah,
Get an RV.
it's dope. It's just barbecuing.
There's a part of me that wants to like get an RV and then just go to all these places in the country that I've just never been to
Right.
and wanted to go
Right.
to. And just plug in the RV and just.
Well, I want to do it. I don't want to
RV.
drive. I know, but there's a job. Somebody needs a job.
Somebody needs a job.
Two bros.
Yo, let's go. Hey man, oh cool. I need a driver for my
Exactly.
cross country RV trip. Nah, man, that's the job.
I just want to go. I want to drink.
That's the drive. You can't drink because you
You
drive.
can't drink, man. You can't drink. You're the driver.
That's it.
You're the
And if you
designated-
drink, you fired. And wherever we are,
You
if we're in
don't.
Skokie, Illinois, that's it. That's where you are.
Oh,
We're dropping you off, and you're fired. You no longer work for me. I'm not responsible for you.
That's right.
See ya, Tehran. Just take us to Chicago,
right.
and
I'll get the next shift.
I get the next one.
Well, speaking of getting the next one, I think we're out of here.
Okay.
It is. We've hit the hour and 10-minute mark. So you're gonna go see your lovely kid. Smooches to Miles. Welcome, Miles Oscar. It's got a very distinguished name.
Miles Oscar Whitfield. I was thinking about making it Miles Oscar Whitfield the third.
Okay.
I know. Just because I wanted to be able to repeat the third.
Sounds funny, but not impossible.
Not impossible,
Not
but
impossible.
hey.
I guess you could name anything you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like you
No-
can do whatever you want.
Right.
Like, why do I have to? Do you know that when you fill out the birth certificate stuff,
Yes.
you fill out,
Haven't done it in a while, but yes.
kid's name.
I remember.
Blah, 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 blah. There are now 5 choices you can make when it comes to the sex of the baby.
What?
You, of course, there is the traditional and old school, and I guess some people would say the patriarchal system of being a straight up boy or girl.
Right.
Right. There's other.
Other.
There's I think non-binary was one of those, and no preference. Did you see this thing where some people are like raising their kids like with no they're not assigning gender to the kids,
Yes.
they're calling them babies or whatever,
This
and
is
not
the
assigning any kid. You've just added to the mental fucking strain of your kid.
Talk about getting bullied. Oh, he's a baby. They did that to me in Toronto, and I got very pissed off at it. That I got almost damn near arrested for, saying she,
Because
doing this gender thing.
Because they got that fucked up law now, and
Dude, that was
Bill
like-
C-16. Yeah,
The guy was like, "You can't say she took my order." Okay, well, the bartender, the waiter,
Mhm.
whatever the fuck you want. I mean, tell me what to say, and I'll
Right.
say it the right way. But I'm American, goddammit. What I'm saying?
right.
But I was really pissed off at it. It's just such a weird world we're morphing into.
We are morphing into it.
We're gonna be gray. We're gonna be the aliens. We're gonna have these big eyes from watching TV and screens so much. We're gonna get the big eyes. We're gonna lose all our hair, and we're gonna have no fucking genitals. We're gonna look like that fucking alien that they keep saying is a Martian peeping in people's windows. 100 years from now, I swear, we'll be that. We'll be gray. We'll yap 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 yap. What was that? Mars Attacks.
I've noticed that I've gotten a little bit more, what's the word? I guess, like chauvinistic. I guess, like maybe just I don't know. Just like the filter in my head doesn't work
Yeah.
as much as it used to. For instance, our kid was in the NICU,
right? He had to go to the
Oh,
he had to spend time in the NICU. He had low blood sugar. So,
Okay.
So the NICU doctor, a great guy, his name is Dr. Charles.
Nice.
But he's Haitian.
Uh-huh.
So he came in, he explained to us what was going to happen and whatnot. And so as I'm retelling it, and I said, well, that's what he said. And the nurse said, who? I said, the coconut.
That's not chauvinist. Bigot.
Okay, bigoted, whatever.
That's-
But that part of me is, and it's not meant any
The coconut. guy.
derogatorily way. I mean, he's a great guy, and I tremendous amount of respect for him. But that, like, the first thing that came out of my mouth was that, you know,
That mom used to call people coconut.
yeah, it's a coconut.
Yeah.
And it made me think about the word. Like, remember we used to call people faggots? Faggot never meant gay.
No.
Faggot never meant
No.
you gay or you had a sexual preference
Right.
for.
It didn't mean
men.
you penetrated. It didn't,
Right.
None of the stuff that came with that word faggot was just, you're a fucked up individual right now. And you're a fucking faggot. Like,
It meant faggot. That's all it meant.
but
It didn't mean anything else.
I know, but interesting how we got that word get rid of, and we can't get rid of the N word,
Right.
so to speak. And,
Right.
and how if you say that now, are you a fucking faggot? The bar, any place you're at will go nuts. It will just, oh, he said faggot. Now in London, which
Uh-huh.
fag is a cigarette. I was like,
That's right, that's right.
Get me a fag, and I was like, no,
No, I don't have any cash. So I don't. So I don't know what do they really say that?
Oh, they say it all the time. They say it fluently, and
It's probably deliberate. They probably deliberately say it.
they do it to test your
Mhm.
UK-ness. Like they test you
Mhm.
if you're saying you're not from here.
Okay.
So it's almost like secret code
Ah.
in the language. And it's like, I'm gonna go bust a fag. And I'm like, bust a fag. I was like, I don't think you could do that around here. That guy. I said, tell me when you're gonna do it so I can run.
Yeah, just let me know when you're going, and I'll go the other way.
And he was like, no, I roll my own. I was like,
Roll your own fags.
Yeah.
What the hell?
it shit just drew me crazy, and I was like, okay, there's clearly a language barrier here that I am not privy to, so I don't know how to help out here. So, all good, man. Episode 34. We are done.
Done. Yeah. Maybe at the beach next week.
Maybe at the beach. Yes, that would be awesome. Yeah, we could do all that. Cool. Peace. What's up? You watching Two Bros Podcast. We are on 13 Ghost TV. We are at
Lazy Lobster.
the Lazy Lobster. We're doing fish tacos.
I just finished my sandwich.
He killed that fish sandwich.
I killed
He
that.
killed
That
it.
shit down.
All right, party people. Episode 34 is in the books. We'll catch you on the next one. Don't forget Robert Moses Park Family Beach Day, August 12th. See you there. Or
Be square.
yeah, be square. Be round.
Rounded.
Wow.
Sweaty.